be that generous under the circumstances. Can you explain the level of generosity first?
In 1992, we lost many, many thousands of people in the Somali tragedy. It's still a tragic trouble spot, unfortunately. And I remember I was still working in the press and I had to get back to write the old notes to see if I could get Philip off the team or something was important. I'd get back and put that on the back page. And I sponged a ride on a plane, an American cargo plane, that had brought in some food into Baidoa, which was the cockpit of the famine. And the only other passenger was a doctor from the Arab League, and he was stuck with me, so he had to talk to me. I'm sure he wasn't pleased about it, but he did anyway. And he asked me where I came from, and when I told him, he said, the caring nation. Now that was the most profound thing ever said to me by a non-Irish person in all my travels in the Third World, because it proved a couple of things. One, that the Irish people, particularly the missionaries, who are the unsung heroes of the aid world, and the Irish people should realise that, phenomenal human beings, had done a tremendous job throughout Africa, particularly in many other countries, and they were followed then by the lay people working with organisations like Gold. So there is none of this would happen without the generosity of the Irish people. So whatever else we say about the Irish, we mightn't be able to do our banking well, you know, church is in a bit of a mess and so forth. We criticise one another like hell, we drag everybody down. We're great at all of those things. But when it comes to generosity of spirit, not just giving money for the poor of the Third World or to situations on our doorstep that demand help, but they give people. People risk their lives because they care. So it didn't surprise me at all that the response to the Haiti disaster was as it was. It wasn't as big as it was for the tsunami. That's totally understandable because of the recession and so forth. But we've had a huge number of people volunteering to work out there. And while I'm on Haiti, I think it's important for the Irish people to realise that so far it's been a success. I have never said that in any tragedy I've been in since going down to Cambodia in '79. This is the first one that I take my hat off to the international community for. We have 3.5 million people have been fed in the last number of months by the World Food Programme through organisations like Gold. They subcontract to us. But the fact is, they're doing the business. They're providing the food. So 3.5 million, it's a lot of people. We have 1.5 million people under shelter. We're now about to build, in our own case, 4,000 transitional homes. Hopefully, there'll be many more agencies will do that as well. The people themselves are hugely resilient. It's like coming out of Croke Park after an All-Ireland trying to get down the street because of the traffic. The markets are up and running. So, for once, for the first time, there's just the chance that the international community will really honour its obligations to the vulnerable and rebuild Haiti. And that's the really tough job. Whether the Taj Mahal will be put back up or not. We're all doing emergency buildings and transitional buildings. This means that we hope the permanent one will be put in. That's up now to the international community, but the signs are good, and I'm absolutely delighted that the Irish have played such a prominent part in that, and it is as I would expect.